All right, everybody, I'm back again. So I got something new for you guys. This company comes from Russia. I can tell you right now, this particular knife is something that is completely my style, but not exactly what I expected. So let's go ahead and get into it, everybody. Let's talk blades, because that's what we're into. Today I have for you guys Daggerr. Now it's really weird. I don't know if this is supposed to be looking like that. In my perspective, it looks like it's trying to be a skull, and maybe that's what it is. But from this angle, it looks like a weird computer chip. So I don't know what they're going for with that, but Daggerr. Weird. And then, of course, Daggerr, this is the Vendetta model in D2 steel. I can already tell you right now, I like the packaging. It looks really good. It has magnetic closure right here, which is always nice. You open it up. Now, when I got this, it was in a plastic bag. It was soaked in oil, so I kind of had to wipe it down, and that's to be expected. Had a little silica pack in there for oxygen and all that, so that stuff went into the trash. So what it's going to come in is kind of like this rubberized, felt-ish kind of packaging right here, which is, I guess it's fine. But I got a couple of things I got to say about this knife, as far as what I like and what I don't like about this knife. I've already inspected it when I got it, but I can tell you right now that there's a few things about this knife that already kind of make me frown. Now, to me, this is a new company. I haven't heard of Daggerr knives, but now that I have one in my hands, I can tell you that it is a very hefty kind of knife. We're going to get into the specs, but first I'm going to go into the overall appearance of the knife. So what you're looking at is one scale. On this side is G10, and on the back side, this silver area right here is a steel frame lock, which is always great. And you got your Screaming Skull pocket clip, and you even have a decent sized glass breaker right up here. Now, the one thing that kind of turns me weird is the overall shape of the handle. If you look, it's kind of got like this missing etch right here. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's just their signature shape. So whatever that is. And it's a flipper design. You got a flipper right here. I only wish that there was jimping on this thing because my finger tends to want to slip a lot. So you got to really have a good, decent, firm grip on there. And because this is kind of a big knife, I don't want it to hit my tripod. So 1 second. Pops open with authority, and it's pretty smooth. It was a little stiff at first, but, once you play around with it a little bit, it loosens up. And you see on the blade, it says Daggerr. And D2 with that same little weird symbol, which I want to say is a skull from this angle. But, I could be wrong. Now, the things I don't like about this knife, I'm going to tell you right off the bat. The overall, and you can see it on the blade right there, it looks like a bit of scuffing. You can see it. I'm trying to get it on camera right now. Now, that's a little bit weird. Coming from a factory, you would think that, their quality assurance would see that and probably try to buff it out a little bit. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just, not too huge of a thing for them. Now, this knife goes for $75 on Blade HQ. So for a $75 knife, I guess it's not that huge a deal. But to see that little scuff right there, it kind of turned me off just a little bit. Especially coming, it's a brand new knife right out of the box. Yeah, it's a little bit weird to me. So I don't know if that was like a last minute, we got to finish sharpening, or maybe there was something on there and they tried to, take it off with a little bit of applied pressure. I don't know. I tried doing what I can to wipe it down, and it's still there. And there's another thing about this knife that I don't like. Now, the pocket clip, I think that's a very creative pocket clip. I love that pocket clip. But if you look from this angle, the pocket clip is bent. So it's bent at a weird angle. And this is how it came to me. And if you look, there's a space. You can see it right in there where this pocket clip does not sit flush with the handle scale. So that's a little bit odd to me. That's, in my book, that's kind of another thing that made me kind of frown just looking at it like, oh man. And that's not a huge deal. Pocket clip, it still works. It's still very, very sturdy. So maybe, it's not a huge deal, but that right there, that uneven bend kind of drives me nuts. And I'm not trying to focus on it. If it works, it works. You don't fix something if it ain't broke type deal, that's fine. And if you look, you got the screws for the eyes. So if I really wanted to, I could take this off, kind of recenter it. But that's the thing. If you spend a decent amount of money on something that's over $50, you'd expect it to be in slightly better condition coming to you. With all that said and done, it's not that bad for $75. It has a very, very appealing look to it. It's a humongous blade. I'm going to get into the length of it and everything else. But first, I'm going to see how much it weighs. Because everybody knows the make it or break it deal is if it's over 5 ounces, that's kind of my sweet spot. All right, so zeroing it out, the knife comes in at a 5.99 ounces, so almost 6 ounces. Is it heavy? Yeah. Is it too heavy? Nah, it's workable. So we'll go ahead and do a length on here. You're looking at a 5-inch blade with a cutting edge of 4.58. It's a freaking huge spear in your pocket with an overall 11 inches. Say 11.18 with the glass breaker accountability right there. Handle length, when it's all closed up, you're looking at 6 inches in the pocket. The way it grips is really nice, but it's a little bit thin. You got this much of a guard here. If you want to choke up, you can choke up right there. This is just a humongous knife altogether. So you have a lot of real estate in the handle. Choke down if you really want to, choke up if you really want to. There's no jimping anywhere that I can feel. Like I said, I only wish there was jimping here, because I've caught myself a couple times when I went to go and try to open the knife, it wants to slip off. Could I add jimping on there? Yeah, but because of this hole, there's not too much material I want to kind of, I don't want to lose. Overall, I do like this knife. It's just not fully perfect. The scuff on the blade and the uneven pocket clip kind of make me feel like this is a little slightly disappointing. But for $75, you got D2 steel, you got one slab of G10. You got a humongous knife on you. If you're walking in an alleyway somewhere, or if you're in a bad place and you need a little bit of confidence, this is obviously going to do that for you. Now, the thing is, I don't know what washers these are running on. If I look, I can't tell if they're phosphor, bronze. I can't tell if they're Teflon. They could be steel washers for all I know. So anytime I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I'm going to try and put it up to the mic. So if you hear that, it's almost like a zip, like a very light, if you can hear that. One more time so you guys can hear it. So I don't know what it's running on, and unless I take it off or take it apart, that's the only time I can actually look in there and actually see what's going on with the washers. But it's not a huge deal. It seems to be smooth enough. You kind of have to flick your wrist a little bit with this, only because the flipper tab is so damn tiny on this humongous freaking beast. But not a huge deal, not a make it or break it. The pivot is a bit small. You got a humongous handle, you got a humongous blade, and then you got this little itty bitty pivot right here. So if that bothers you, well, I'm sorry. It doesn't really bother me too much. You got an over travel stop right here, which I think is really, really nice. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get into how wide things are so you guys can see what you're carrying. Well, the blade is coming in at a 2.9 millimeters, and the handle is coming in at a 10.7. So, yeah, not too much. Not too much. We'll go ahead and see how sharp it is. What the hell? A little bit of paper. Now let's just hope, I hope to God that Russia knows how to sharpen. And they do. So it is. It's actually a lot sharper than I expected it to be. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not trying to talk crap on Russia. I'm just saying that I really like my stuff coming out of Japan because they know how to sharpen. But at the same time, I'm impressed. This is actually really sharp. Very, very sharp. Like borderline Spyderco sharp. With it being D2 steel, it's going to hold an edge for a while. It's probably just going to be a bit of a pain in the butt to sharpen because, you know, I'm used to sharpening AUS 8 and, 440 stainless. So sharpening D2 steel is probably going to take a little bit more to it. But as you can tell, it is very sharp. And why not? While we're here, I also have some paracord. So here we go for those guys who are like, can I cut paracord? Oh, we'll find out right now. Go ahead and put just a little bit of paracord on there for you guys so you can see. All right. Oh, yeah. Really, really, really sharp. Cut right through it. So you can see that the even cut right there. Pretty good. So there's that. Like I said, you can get this bad boy on Blade HQ for $75. I always do rush shipping on mine. I do like the next day shipping. I know it's a little bit expensive, but I get it sooner. So that's it for that. Daggerr knives. This is the only one in my collection right now that I have. Probably the only one I'm probably ever going to have, to be honest. With the quality that I got, I'm not going to say that I'm going to invest into this company too much unless they try to, do a better job at upping the ante on the quality assurance. But it's not a bad knife. If you're looking at something like this, if you don't mind carrying around a frickin' pocket sword, this might be for you. Go ahead and check it out on Blade HQ. So everybody, slash that like button, stab that subscribe if you haven't done so already. Notify me with that little bell icon so that way you guys know when I post some new stuff in the video. As always, my friends, be kind, be safe, and please carry responsibly in these tough times, and I will see you all in the next video.